Good afternoon and good evening to you guys. Welcome to the weekend. It is Friday the 15th of January today, and yeah, we're halfway through the month already. Before you know it, it's going to be Christmas all over again. Guys, today's show is a sad one. As annoying as these people are, it's sad to see what I've really called today the lost people of the world. There's a whole demographic of people, and you know what? It's made up of teachers. I just saw a teacher today in the USA now. She's retired. She's resigning from it. She was part of the coup, the attempted coup bunch the other day. She's been arrested. She said, anyway, sod it, I'm going to quit my job and make it my mission to find pedophiles in the Democratic Party. They don't exist. The person she's focusing on, fighting for, Trump, is the biggest pedophile that there is. It's on record. But then, in his time, he's got so many people thinking that the good guys are pedophiles, that Oprah, Obama, these people are keeping children and these people are running with it. I mean, there is a whole world out there of people. Look, he put a video the other day. People are looking for hand signals. It's pretty sad, man. It's pretty sad. This is a school teacher. There were police officers, there's firemen, there's black people over here, especially, and a few over there. Not as much are listening to QAnon over there as they are here. But either way, to me, I call them the lost people of the world. So without further ado, let's get down to today's show. My first video illustrates how gone some people are. This is a clip taken from the first time this guy came out of his bunker after last Wednesday. Obviously, no one's seen him much anyway since he lost the election, but the first time he came out, he went to the border wall, and there was this group of people waiting for him, and they interviewed. I'm only going to play a little piece of it, but the interview's full of people saying that they still believe he's going to get inaugurated. Now, where are they? Really? Because I know their body's here. It might sound like a stupid question, right? But you have to ask, where are they? Where are they meaning, where was you when Biden won? Where was you when the election was certified? Where have you been in all the talk? Where was you when Georgia also was lost and the Dems won it for the first time ever? Where have you been? But they have been around. They just operate in some alternate universe, people. And that, to me, is really sad. It's really, really sad. If you penny it properly, if you penetrate and drill into it properly, they're dangerous, but it's sad. Take a look at my first video.
A self-described Trump train of supporters lined the streets where the president landed in the Rio Grande Valley. This is a crowd of true believers. Ryan Wolf says he's a stay-at-home father of 3 children. He brought a ballistic vest, a knife, and a baton to protect fellow Trump supporters. Why is this necessary?
Well, sir, we have seen the Marxists attack children and families and women. I'm not going to tolerate that.
Wolf and others here don't blame Trump for last week's riot at the U.S. Capitol. The conspiracy theories are running rampant.
I believe that either foreign intelligence officers or local militant groups incited the conflict.
I feel it was people like Antifa, Black Lives Matter, who infiltrated the crowd that caused the problems.
Of course, none of that is true. Among the most ardent Trump supporters is the false yet unwavering belief that the 2020 presidential election was riddled with widespread fraud.
This was a stolen election.
I want my President Trump standing up there being inaugurated as an extended president of the United States.
I mean, when I've called these guys when I've called these people a cult, and a lot of the national press, international press, is starting to call them that. They've been calling them Trump supporters for the longest. To me, they're a cult. Because Trump came out the other day and said he's 2-0, as in he's won 2 elections and lost none. Like Obama's 2-0, yeah? George Bush before him was 2-0. George Bush's dad was a one-term president. Very few presidents ever get one term. Very, very few. This century, I think there's only been 3. He came out the other day and said he's 2-0. If you're 2-0, then you're meant to be getting inaugurated on next week, Wednesday, right? But he's not. So in the same speech, you're saying, well, the new administration, but then you're saying you're 2-0. So if you got a guy who's delusional saying he's 2-0, he's won 2 election victories, but yet he's leaving office, and his followers know he's leaving office, but yet believe he's going to get inaugurated, to me, it's just a lost world. It's really sad. My next video, yeah, he done a video the other day because after he got impeached, he made a speech, and he's talking, you know, like I'm talking and I'm doing this. The people are watching now. They got no Twitter to hear from him. They got nowhere of hearing from him. So now they're resorting to saying, did his hand signals mean something? Was he saying that we stay at home? You know, the QAnon shit, the QAnon stuff, where the QAnon people are talking about watermarks coming up to the election, and they're thinking, oh, watermarks, what does that mean? What does that mean? Take a look at this video. It's honestly, you couldn't make this stuff up. It's sad, funny on a good day, but dangerous most of the time. Take a look.
Inside these pro-Trump forums, there's a lot of confusion right now. They really thought Donald Trump was going to win. Until really a few days ago, they haven't had months to process the election result. And they don't understand what's supposed to happen next. They saw this video from the president last night, and they're not sure. They think maybe he's warning them to stay in their homes because the military is going to conduct a coup for him. There were some people who were even going as far as to pass his hand movements. On the video, he did this hand signal a couple of times, and some of them think that's Morse code.
For what? I mean, what do they think this is Morse code for?
Well, the people involved in the QAnon movement, there are even some parts of the Trump base, the most extreme, who are angry at him. Because they think, of course, if President Trump knew that there was going to be cheating, why couldn't he stop it? How can he possibly leave office and abandon us?
Guys, they had an expert on, right? A professor, who they asked about why these people are how they are. And one of the things he said, which I've heard time and time again from my friends on groups, face to face, and it was uncanny when he said it. He said, there is a feeling amongst those believers that they're superior. There's a feeling that they know what the deep state is up to, and they're not supposed to know this. But they do. And if you disagree with them, they look at you and think, poor you. You truly don't know. And that vibe, that feeling, gives them an uplift of feeling that they don't want to let go of. The other thing the professor said is they feel like they know something that the media would not tell them. You know? And I get that a lot from people. Like, you listen to the media, we're listening to something you don't listen to, and we know, and you don't know. But it's dangerous. It's dangerous and it's sad. Because the guy who started this whole thing up didn't start it to create a better world. He done it to protect himself. He done it so he labeled the press enemies and fake news because they ask tough questions of him. So that's his way of just fobbing them off and just, I'm not going to answer your question, you're fake news, you're fake news, you're fake news. So that's how he got through the whole 4 years. All of his interviews and phone-ins was with right-wing media. People are going to push back. So when he does the press conferences now, when the real press are, you are enemy of the people, I'm not going to speak to you. You're asking the wrong question, you're asking a disrespectful question, I'm not going to answer it. He done all of this to protect himself. But people have run with it, and we can now see the results. Nearly 380,000 already dead in America because he just would not care enough. And then people made it worse by following his no masking issue. The other day when they huddled in the Houses of Parliament over there in America, Democrat members had masks on. Now let me tell you guys something. Since this pandemic started, I'm telling you right now, I think it's run through the whole Republican establishment. Just because they followed Trump. The Democrats, I haven't heard a single Democrat who, I've heard of one or two who caught it and isolated, but it's not run through the Democrats, none at all. Very rarely the ruling elite of the Democrats, none at all has that run through them. Why? Because they paid attention. So the other day they were huddled with Republicans. And I'm going to show you a video now to show you how dangerous this guy is. And those who follow him. They will kill other people from their ignorance. You had a Democrat person going around trying to hand masks to Republicans who weren't wearing masks. But the Democrats who had masks on found themselves in the same space as these idiots. And they tried to hand them masks. And they refused. A few days later, 3 all in all caught corona from that experience with these bastard Republicans. So when I say it's dangerous, look at the numbers in America. America's a sort of country that should have had minimal numbers. Minimal numbers. They should have done better than the UK. But fake news and this madness has got them there. Like I said, the world of the lost people. Take a look.
Democratic Congressman Brad Schneider of Illinois says he received a positive test this morning, and he is blaming his GOP colleagues for the infection. Schneider is one of the lawmakers who fled the Capitol mob and spent several hours confined in a room with other members of Congress. And there were several Republican lawmakers there who were refusing to wear masks. They are Marjorie Taylor Greene, a QAnon supporter from Georgia. There was also Congressman Mark Wayne Mullen, Andy Briggs, Scott Perry, Michael Cloud, and Doug LaMalfa.
Everybody, a large number of lawmakers were packed into that very specific safe room. You saw the video first released by Punchbowl News of there was a Democrat who walked up and offered masks to those Republicans. They turned it down, and since then, 3 Democrats, as you noted, including one who is a cancer survivor, Bonnie Watson-Coleman, have all tested positive. And Brianna, I don't think I can overstate how furious Democrats are about this right now. They had a very lengthy conference call last night, just the Democratic conference, and it had a number of different issues, whether it was security, whether it was impeachment. But a large part of that conference call, I'm told by a member who was on it, was venting frustration about Republicans putting them in this position right now. And they are calling for penalties. You have Debbie Dingell and Anthony Brown, 2 members of the House, who are now proposing legislation to impose a $1,000 fine on any Republican that does, not any Republican, any member that chooses not to wear a mask. Pramila Jayapal, who did test positive, said that she wants the sergeant at arms to immediately remove anybody on the House floor who is not wearing a mask.
You see what I mean by dangerous? Not just you killing your people who follow you, who are dying in droves, as well as here. And the rest of the world, all those who are anti-maskers, it's one person that created that for the world, and that's Trump. No one believes me. A lot of you don't believe me. But I'm telling you right now, if you remove Trump from the equation and put another president in there who said wear masks and is wearing masks the whole time, you won't be hearing none of this, your freedom, my freedom, my freedom, I don't want masks. You won't be hearing any of that. So not just is he dangerous to his own people and those who believe that, but he's made his people dangerous to the rest of the world as well. But you know what? Things have a way of coming back and getting you when you behave so recklessly. Forget about all his families that had corona. Obviously, none of them died. Lucky for them. I would have celebrated. I'm not lying to you. If one of them had died, I would have celebrated. I would have. Because you started this shit. So at the end of the day, you need to pay a price. I would have celebrated, but I'm glad none of them died. But you know what? the best thing is what's happening to him right now. The people around him can't get a job. I said that about a few weeks ago. I've got a video that I'm just not fitting into this show. The amount of people that can't get jobs from his people. The kind of companies that are putting feelers out. Forbes told all his contacts, don't hire any one of these people. If you do, we won't trust what your company says. You know, Forbes is Forbes the richest, collects data. So they're saying to companies, if you hire any one of these people in any top position, we are not dealing with your company, because then we can't trust anything that comes out your company's mouth. That's huge. So he's destroyed everyone who worked for him, and he's destroyed himself. Take a look at the destruction that he's brought on himself.
New reporting from the Washington Post suggesting the president is growing more concerned about his business brand, and there is good reason for this. Since the attack on the Capitol, banks have been cutting ties with him. The PGA pulled its 2022 championship from his golf club in New Jersey, and more companies are condemning the president and pulling their funding from his allies who peddled lies. His campaign website just lost their financing company. His organization's e-commerce provider closed 2 online stores. New York City is terminating all business relationships with his company, and that includes a golf course, the Central Park Carousel, and 2 ice skating rinks. And also this, Lehigh University and Wagner College are taking back the honorary degrees that they awarded President Trump.
Welcome back, guys. And it's not just those companies you see there. They've stopped, a lot of sponsors and donors have stopped donating to the Republican Party. The Republican Party is crashed right now. Crashed. They're in bits. They're going to fire a few of their MPs, who took part in lying. But more importantly, there's one thing that's come out. This Washington Post or New York Times, I think it was, said something the other day that was so, I could see it happening. They said that Trump will become part of folklore for hundreds of years from now, where parents will be saying to their children, don't tell lies like Trump. Or what is it? Don't tell lies and end up like Trump. Remember to tell the truth. Do not tell lies and end up like Trump. That's this guy's legacy. American carnage. Just like he said at his inaugural speech, American carnage. He started talking about American carnage, and he definitely lived up to that. Guys, remember to subscribe to my channel. We're trying to get to 300. If you like what we do and you support what we do, give us a hit, give us a subscribe. And in the meantime, have a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday. Take care now and all the best. Bye-bye.